Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about Jalen Mayfield, the offensive tackle out of the University of Michigan, is the man himself, a man who I do these profiles with every week, and if you listen to our podcast, you're going to hear them every day. It's Logan Landers. How's it going, Mr. Landers?
What's going on, Jeremiah? Another wonderful Monday talking some football with you, doing these draft prospects. And hey, man, we got a good one today. We're talking about Jalen Mayfield out of the University of Michigan with the Wolverines. So I like usual, man, I'm ready to talk with these guys and ready to provide my draft expertise that I've been getting over the last year about these guys. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, if you're watching us right now on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, or listening to us on our podcast, be sure to go to our website, 100 Yards of Football, sportstalkradio.com, and make sure to look at all the other draft profiles that we've got going on. And, of course, share this profile with your friends and family on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, and just let everybody know that you're watching and drop us a comment. So without further ado, Mr. Landers, tell us about Jalen Mayfield.
Well, before we get started about the traits I enjoy about Jalen Mayfield, first I got to talk about his body transformation.
Okay.
He came out of high school into Michigan, and he put on 75 pounds.
Wow.
75, so that's no small task. So he came in a little bit underweight for an offensive lineman, but he's coming out of Ann Arbor with a lot of weight and a lot of strength behind him, mostly. So this is a big guy, 6'5", 330 pounds almost. Very good. I enjoyed his time at Michigan. And the reason why is because not this past year, but the previous one, he was one of the few offensive linemen who could help stop the dominant Chase Young, who just won the defensive rookie of the year in the NFL for the Washington football team. Jalen Mayfield was one of the few offensive linemen that could help shut him down. So he's already got a good bit of game footage under his belt.
Yeah.
And, man, add on that 75 pounds, I think was a blessing in disguise because that really helped with his strength, with his just ability to pass block, run block. And it's going to show in the NFL draft. People are projecting him maybe to go in the first round. If not the first, then I would say early second. And I could definitely see that. He's got a lot of game film. He's got a lot of strength. He's got a good bit of speed for a big guy. And he's got, like I said, if you're playing at Michigan, you're playing against good teams. You know, like we see in the picture here, they're playing against Ohio State, which is always in the front running to get a national title. So he's played against good competition his entire career at Michigan. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to do in the NFL. But some of the traits that I enjoy about him is even though, yeah, he is 6'5", 330 pounds, he's got amazing footwork. For a man that size to have the footwork that he does,
yeah,
it's hard to believe. He's really good, though. I like it. He's a great pass blocker. That's where he excels at, is pass blocking. Run blocking is nice and all, but nowadays with the NFL going towards more of an aerial attack, with passing being more and more prevalent each and every season, that's where you make your money at. That's your bread and butter, and that's what Jalen Mayfield brings to the table is amazing footwork and excellent, excellent pass blocking. He's got the ability to look at defenders, see if they're going to go with like a swim move, a swipe move, or if they're just going to try and take him down and run him over. He's got really good vision, and he can see what they're going to do, and he can adapt quickly and on the fly, which is what's very important. You got to be able to do that. You got to have quick thinking in the NFL. He's basically an anchor. You know, we call these guys walls, anchors, boulders, and that's just true. It really is, because this guy, once he plants his feet, if he's doing some pass blocking, you ain't moving him anywhere, basically. You're just running into a brick wall at that point, and he ain't going nowhere. And then for the running game, he's going to try and move you out. He's going to try and get you out the way, move you over to the sidelines, push you into the water cooler. He's going to do as much work as he can to get you out the way and to try and get that runner or the running back in those great holes. And he can do that. He does need a little bit of help with the run blocking, but that's not going to be any issue, I think, for this guy. Yeah. Pass blocking, like I said, that's his moneymaker right there. But if he can, and I think he will, just get better and better at run blocking, he's just a five-tool, man. He really is a five-tool athlete when it comes to offensive linemen. He's got good hands. He's got good footwork, good speed, power, of course, and size. It's all there. It really is. He's got everything you look for in a quality offensive lineman. Another thing that scouts enjoy about this young man is that he has experience playing at both tackle positions. He played at both left and right tackle, which is something a lot of guys coming into the draft you can't really say too much about. So he's got experience playing on both ends, which means that they can slide him over to whichever they please, whatever fits their scheme. And that's going to help boost his scheme fits and where he could land in the NFL draft. And as usual, I've got my 3 teams that might go with this man.
Oh, yeah.
So, while yes, he does have very kind of limited sample size. He only played in 15 games, started in 15 games for the Wolverines. But, man, he showed out so much in those 15 games. He's already looking like I said earlier, a first-round pick, if not first round, early second round for sure. So, the 3 teams that I have that might go with this young man from Michigan. The first, the New York Jets. The Jets, they're looking on the come up. They need a little bit of help rebuilding. And the offensive line is very important nowadays. You got to have a very good offensive line. And whether it be Sam Darnold behind center or if they go with a new quarterback in this draft, it remains to be seen. But whichever one it is, they're going to get a good quality offensive lineman if they get Jalen Mayfield to protect their future. Yeah. The next, like I said, with the future, the Cincinnati Bengals. Their future was a little bit burnt out last year whenever the young man by the name of Joe Burrow unfortunately got injured and it ended his season. Well, the reason you can look at that is subpar offensive linemen. So they need to revamp at that position. You know, they had their future right there with Burrow. He got a leg injury, which is never good. Took him out for the rest of the season. Well, you need that should be their top priority is in this draft is to get better linemen to protect, the former Heisman winning quarterback in Joe Burrow. So I think the Bengals will be another fit for him as well. And finally, the third team that might go with Jalen Mayfield is the Los Angeles Chargers with Justin Herbert back there. Herbert, the offensive rookie of the year. I mean, hey, you got to have the guy that's going to lead your franchise for years and years to come. You got to have him protected real well. So I think that either the New York Jets, the Cincinnati Bengals, or the Los Angeles Chargers would be a great fit for Jalen Mayfield. And whatever team he does end up on, I'm looking forward to him. I'm going to be rooting for him. And he's going to be doing a very good job out there for whatever team he gets. And like we always say, sometimes it's better that we don't hear a lot from these guys, that they keep sort of a low-key career. Because usually if you hear an offensive lineman's name, it's typically not for a good reason. But we're going to see how he's going to do in the NFL. Like I said, I think he's going to be great. And whatever team drafts him is going to get an absolute stud for an offensive lineman.
Definitely. Yeah, I totally agree. Like with an offensive lineman, you're not going to – if you hear them go – the announcers aren't going to be like, great job. He did his blocking job.
Yeah, you don't hear that too often.
No. Yeah. So I really love this profile, and I'm really loving all the profiles that you're bringing us. The depth of knowledge and the information and the extra little bits of information that might make a big difference down the line. Those are the types of things with these NFL draft profiles that I really love that you bring to us. So thank you so much for that, Mr. Landers. If you were to say, with the same question as our last profile, with Jalen Mayfield, if he had one key for trying to make noise or trying to get seen in this draft, what would be his key?
I think for him, like I said, I do think that his versatility playing at both tackle positions is going to help his draft stock. So say, if a team wants him to start at right tackle, he'll go over there. And if he wants to start at left tackle, he can just slide on over there. Also, like I said, he's got those raw tools, those good abilities. He's great in pass blocking. He's got the power. He's got the speed. He's got the technique. It's all there for this guy. He's one of the higher rated offensive linemen coming into this 2021 NFL draft. And it's easy to see why. The only downside, like I said, Jeremiah, would be just the amount of games he's played. He's only played in 15 games throughout his tenure. But I don't think that would be too big of an issue, just because all the talent in the world is right there at his fingertips. Yeah. And if, I think that if you just look at those games that he was in, you can see how dominant he was. And just imagine how good he's going to be with some more seasoning and some more games played in the NFL. That's the big thing there. That's the what if. Like, man, what if this guy plays a full season? He plays almost every, as many snaps as he can. Mm-hmm. How good can he get? So there's that big question mark, but like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it actually kind of helps him because he's going to be more healthy and coming into this draft. And I'm really looking forward to see where he's going to go. Because like I said, versatility is a big thing for him, and I think that's his big key, is that he can play at either tackle position and excel at both of them.
Well, that's definitely a great key. I think that could make the difference when it comes to the draft. All of our University of Michigan fans or alums out there, did you see Jalen Mayfield play? What did you see on the field? Let us know in the comments. So for everybody else watching too, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, thank you guys so much. These draft profiles just really get us there. We're going to do another draft profile here in just a moment. And if you missed any of our previous draft profiles, go to our YouTube page, 100 Yards of Football, or our Facebook page, 100 Yards of Football, and just check that out. And if you love to listen to podcasts, make sure you jump over and listen to our podcast, which you can get on any of the platforms that you like, including Spotify, where we post all of our podcasts each week. So you can go and hear a new podcast on Monday, hear a new podcast Tuesday, hear a new podcast Wednesday. And right now we're really focusing a lot on draft profiles and recruiting classes. So make sure you go over there and listen to those. And also on Apple Podcasts, same thing, 100 Yards of Football. You can find us. And anywhere that you do listen to podcasts, over on Google Podcast, it works. And you can use your home device and just say, hey, I'd like to listen to 100 Yards of Football podcast, and it'll pull it up right for you. So thank you so much for listening to this draft prospect profile for Jalen Mayfield, the offensive tackle from the University of Michigan. Please like, share, and subscribe to all of our channels. For the entire team, I'm Jeremiah Long, the producer, and this is Logan Landers, and we'll be right back with another great draft profile.